Hey, this is Keith from Keith Trimm Dragon Art. I'm here with my wife Cheryl, and we've been watching a lot of tattoo shows on YouTube. And Cheryl has lots of tattoos, and I think my work fits into the tattoo category, even though I don't do tattoos. But tell me about tattoos, Cheryl.
Well, I have nine, and I don't know. I think they're kind of addicting. Like once you get one, you want to get another one and another one and another one, depending on what it is, of course. But
I would think that my stuff would fit in that category, but I share my stuff with the tattoo community, and I get like nothing. I don't know. It's kind of bums me out a little bit. But on the screen here, I'm inking in my shark. It's kind of a cartoony looking shark. I've done a lot of these in my life ever since Jaws came out. I think I drew my first shark. So this is the inking process right here. And watching on the tattoo shows, it's interesting to see how these guys can get this kind of effect with this tiny little needle. And I'm using this big old 1.5-inch brush. And right now I'm putting in my background. I made my ocean blue-green instead of blue. I don't know. I'm just kind of using different colors just for the fun of it. And I'm using this watercolor paper. Here I'm putting in my background, which is kind of a mountain seascape. It's a lot darker on screen now, but it dries lighter, and like you just see right there, it's much lighter. And right now I'm putting in the top of the shark. So I had to go to Google and look up sharks and see how they're colored. They're darker on top and they're lighter on bottom, which makes total sense. If you're looking down at a shark, it kind of matches the ground. If you're looking up at a shark, it kind of matches the sky. So that's what I'm doing. So next, tell me about some of your tattoos.
well, I have a compass with kind of some watercolor dogwood flowers around it that says, "Not all who wander are lost," which is a quote from "Not all those who wander are lost," which is a quote from Tolkien from Lord of the Rings. I have a camera body on my arm with a bunch of other wildflowers and kind of the watercolor style as well.
We got to talk about that real quick. Who did that?
Eddie Goodteacher.
Okay, Eddie Goodteacher. And one thing he did, and Cheryl was discussing this, was he freehanded it, which I think he did.
Yeah.
But he freehanded it onto paper, not onto her skin. And
although I do have a tattoo that Eddie did on my foot that he did freehand onto my skin, and it's like a stargazer lily with some other. See, I have a themed flowers, but he did freehand the one on my foot.
The thing
onto my skin.
The thing about freehanding just kind of kills me. Growing up as an artist, it's like a badge of honor if you can freehand something. And the older I get, the more I think that's just bogus, because I freehand most of my stuff. But there's times I will use a reference photo and I'll just trace it right off the screen. And it doesn't bother me that I do that, because to me, the painting part is the main part. If you can get your image on the canvas easier, who cares? I mean, nobody's going to give me an award for freehanding anything.
Well, the thing about guys like artists like you and Eddie is that you actually draw. I mean, there's a lot of tattoo artists out there who are using iPads and, computer rendered kind of stuff to do their designs, which I guess is, I mean, that's fine. But I think the old school stuff has a different feel to it.
Which is funny, because drawing is something I've always done, but I have to force myself to sit down and draw. I don't draw for fun, which is funny. I just don't. I paint for fun. I enjoy the painting process, but to sit there and just, make myself look at the screen, look at the image, and just scratch it out, it's I won't say it's painful, but it's not as enjoyable. I like, here's my shark. I'm putting in the teeth. And next thing I do is put in my shading. Shading, it's a big deal. Oh my gosh. In tattoo world, shading is huge. It's so funny to me to listen to these guys talk about shading like it's a big deal. I shade in my sleep. It's something I've always done. It comes to me very naturally.
Well, it is a big deal, because if you don't shade, it looks flat. It doesn't look. I mean, it increases the
depth.
Yeah. And it makes it look better when you're actually shading. The camera that I have on my arm, if there was no shading in that, it would look stupid.
But it makes me feel like I'm in 8th grade again. All these adults shading. Oh, he did it in freehand and he shaded. Well, so what? You do that when you're a kid. I don't know.
Yeah, but not everybody has that artist perspective. I mean, I think it's important to understand that not everybody has the same talents, and maybe they don't understand shading, or
No,
maybe
they
they
do.
can't do it.
It's just the way they talk. They talk like we're in junior high. Anyway, so here I am putting on my first layer of highlights, and my highlights always come in not rows. I'll start with my darker highlights, my medium highlights.
Layers, you do them in layers.
Layers, not what is it, gradients. It's gradients or something. So here I am. I'm adding my highlights to my shadows. Without the shadows, your highlights don't work. I'm surprised I didn't mention that in the tattooing. But the thing about tattooing is they use white ink, but I don't think white ink lasts, does it?
I have a daisy tattoo that was done in white ink that does not show up as white anymore.
I don't know what the process is. They kind of use skin color as their whites, and your skin color is kind of, I don't know, about a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10 for brightness or value. It's hard, I think, to get a good light value in a tattoo. And right now my cat is attacking my paintings. Stop that. Hey, hey. So what are we doing here? I added some blue. I backfilled my gray shadows with blue because blue is a very good shadow color. So I'm doing that right now. Putting my blues in. Adds another sense of dimension to it. So tell me about some more of your tattoos.
I have my mom's writing on my wrist. It says "Love, Mom." That's probably my favorite one, even though it's like the most simple.
Oh, okay. In this picture, I had to do some boat wrecks. So I just kind of doodled these in. I wasn't going to make a big deal out of it. I did Google some boat wrecks, but I wasn't going to make a huge deal. So they're kind of just there in the bottom just to take up some space. Oh, okay. Here's my submersible. Now, we're being timely with this painting because just recently that submersible imploded. So I thought I would put a submersible in my painting, and it's a super, super simple one. They're easy to do. It's just basically a circle, some light, highlights, and whatnot. Oh, my shark is an evil, so he has to have a red eye. Eyes are tricky, but there's a certain way I do them to give them highlight, shadow, and then you put that all-important eye shine right here. Give me 2 seconds, I'll throw it in. There it is. That's the eye shine. That brings it to life. Without that, your painting sucks. So I'm painting on watercolor paper, which is different than gesso. It has a different feel to it. It dries much faster, but I'm getting used to it. And I like it because it's basically cheap. But coming up here, I have to put some tape on this thing. I was afraid the tape was going to pull paint off the watercolor. Here it is. I'm putting tape on, but it didn't. I just didn't press it on too hard. Put a little bit of a shine from the lights here. Sign my name to my painting. Don't click off yet. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. And I need many more followers. I need 1,000 followers and 4,000 hours of watch time. So stick with me and share this with your friends. We're getting down to the end here. This is the final painting. It's a work of art. It belongs in a museum somewhere. I'll sell it to you for $5,000. And thanks for watching.